Is there directions? Nope. Okay. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm playing around with some new camera settings, so hopefully this looks better and not worse, but we shall see. My hair is also looking so like orange and brassy on camera. It does not look that bad in person, but anyways, I digress. So today we're going to be testing out some Flower Beauty products. So in my brands I want to try in 2019 video, I'll link it up there, I talked about how Flower Beauty was one of those brands that I wanted to try more of because I really only tried their setting spray. And Adam, my husband, surprised me with this little bouquet of flowers for our anniversary, and it was just so cute and sweet, and so he got me like a few little Flower Beauty stuff. So I'm gonna test those out today, and then I also picked up the Light Illusion foundation, which I'm excited to try. They didn't have the concealer at the Walmart that I went to, but that's okay. So one of the first things is going to be the blush balm, the Flower Beauty blush balm. This is in the shade Melon, and I am so excited to try these. I've heard nothing but good things about them. Next we have the Flower Beauty Wanderlust palette, and this is, which one is this? Austin Downtown Dusk, I think is the name. And it's this really cute palette. It's got some pretty colors. I will say the packaging is pretty darn cheap. Mine is already broken, as you can see. So like this part just comes off, and yeah. But that's okay, it kind of magnetizes back together. Yeah, I'm guessing they just kind of wanted to keep the cost down on this. But the colors seem really pretty, and I'm excited to try them. I haven't even swatched these yet, but I shall do that. So let's see, this first one, I don't think these have names, but the first one is this nice bronzy shade. Ooh, that's pretty. And then we have this orangey guy here. These feel super soft and buttery, and they're pretty much they're going on pretty pigmented right off the bat. This one is not as shimmery as I thought it was gonna be, but it's still really pretty. Ooh, these feel like so nice. So here they are all swatched on my arm. They all seem pretty pigmented and soft, so I'm excited. He also got me this Mix and Matte Lip Duo. So basically it's like a traditional kind of bullet lipstick that's matte on one side and then like a shimmery glittery gloss on the other side. So he got me this really pretty purple shade, but I don't know, I wasn't sure if that would go well with like the colors in the palette, so I also picked up this more sort of peachy toned, kind of nudie shade, so I'm excited to try those. And then of course we do have the Flower Beauty Light Illusion foundation. This is supposed to be super dewy, super glowy, so I'm super excited. And then I also have this new little highlighter. This is not from Flower Beauty, but it is new to me that Adam also got me, and it's the Beauty Bakery, wow. And it's the Beauty Bakery Illuminator in So Icy, and it's like a loose illuminator, so I'm super excited to try that out. But without further ado, let us just jump right into the video. Okay, so I did go ahead and prime my eyes with the Urban Decay Primer Potion in Eden, and then I just kind of set them with a powder. Zoomed you guys in a little closer so you can kind of see what's happening on my eyeballs. So I'm gonna start out with the eyeshadow. I'm just gonna take this thing, I'm just gonna set that here. It'll be fine. So I'm gonna try to use all of the shades in here. Don't know how that's gonna go, but we're gonna try. So I'm gonna start with this guy here, this lighter orange shade. And I'm just gonna take that on a fluffy brush. Ooh, there is a bit of powder kick up. I don't know if you can see there, so I'm just gonna tap that right off. I don't really mind powder kick up as long as the shadows perform well on the eyes. Seems to be blending on pretty nicely. It is definitely a little bit powdery, but I think the pigment is there, and it just kind of shows up kind of like a pastel kind of creamsicle-y shade, which is pretty. I'm also gonna take a little bit of that just on the outer corner here. Bring it up a little bit more into the crease, just building it up slightly more. I'm gonna take this more kind of burnt, rusty shade here. Quite a bit of fallout of that one as well. So I'm gonna tap my little brush off and I'm gonna put that on the outer corner. So I'm just going to kind of stampity stamp where I want that. I think I might clean up the outer edge. I'm not 100% sure yet. So I'm just gonna kind of go in and blend out the edges. I am gonna take this with just the leftover product on my brush down here. Shadows are fairly bright and pigmented. They're not going on patchy or anything like that. And I'm gonna take this bronzy shade here. Just take that on my wee little finger and I'm gonna tap that all over the lid. Ooh, that's such a pretty bronzy shade. I'm into that. And it's so kind of metallic and foiled. I am 100% here for that. I'm gonna take that same small little brush and just kind of go in and blend the edges a little bit. All right, I'm just gonna kind of clean up right here since I'm gonna put that lime green right in the center. I know that a lot of people have been doing that with this palette, but it's just, it looks nice. I don't think I'm actually going to take a makeup wipe to clean up that edge. I don't think I need to, but I am gonna take a little bit of powder. This is the Hourglass Veil powder. You can take any sort of translucent powder or any matte powder that's close to your skin tone and just kind of clean up that edge a little bit to just get them nice and even. So I think on the lower lash line, I'm actually gonna take this blue shade right here. It is a shimmer, but it doesn't seem like it's like super heavy shimmer like this one. So we shall see. Where is my little brush? And I'm just going to bring that down on the lower lash line. So you can see a little bit of shimmer, but it's not like super intensely foiled. I think if you were to put it like all over the lid, you would get more shimmer. This is a pretty nicely pigmented blue. It is pulling a smidge gray. So I'd be interested to see like how this looks all over the lid. But I like it on the lower lash line. All right, cool. And then I'm going to take this lighter orange shade. I'm just gonna use kind of the side of this fluffy brush here. And I'm going to buff that underneath and kind of up into that orange. I don't know how I feel about this color combo, but we're here, we have arrived. I'm gonna take a little bit of the darker orange, just a smidge on the outermost part and kind of blend that in with the outer V. And then I am gonna take a little bit of that a little lower too, because I think the other, yeah, that looks better. The other shadow was pulling quite yellow underneath, and that wasn't exactly the intention. So I think I'm gonna go back in with the blue and just intensify it a little bit. I'm gonna take a little bit of the blue on a nice angled brush here, and I'm just going to kind of add a little tiny bit on the outer corner. Like a wing, but like not really. You know what I mean? Not really to create a whole lot of shape or anything. I basically just want to kind of tie in this darker lower lash line to the upper. All right, this is the exciting part. I'm gonna try that lime green. Going to pop that right in the inner corner. Ah, that is so pretty, I love it. Inner corner, so I'm bringing the green down to mesh in with the other colors on the lower lash line. And then I really want to build it up right in the inner corner. I want it to be quite intense. I'm also going to take it up a little bit and blend it in with that orange. The last shade to use is just this little champagne-y guy here. So I'm just going to take a little, this is like an angled little brush. I like this for brow bone. And that's what I'm going to do with the champagne shade, is I'm just going to kind of pop it on my brow bone. Obviously my brows are already done. Ooh, that's pretty too. That's almost got like a little bit of a pink reflect to it. I think that would be really pretty, maybe as a face highlight. I'm gonna be using my Milk Makeup Kush mascara. My tube is like broken, but It's okay, we make it work. Just going to pop that on. Whoa! And this is why I don't do my foundation first. But I don't know, I don't feel like this look needs super dramatic lashes, so I think I'm just gonna go with my little, these little winged out guys. These are the Kiss lashes. I think those will be pretty. While I'm waiting for my lash glue to set, I'm gonna prime with just a little bit of the Smashbox Primerizer. I use this primer all the time, so it'll kind of give me a good gauge. But it's just like a super gentle, hydrating, lightweight primer. I like this eye look. It's just, I've been liking looks like this where it's just sort of like, it's sort of subtle color, you know what I mean? It's not like super in your face. It's not like big, dramatic, like cut crease and everything, but it's just that pop of color, but it's still very kind of gentle. I'm gonna apply these underneath my real lashes. I'm gonna take this little NYX Wonder pencil. It's just like a nude pencil. Oh, look, I sharpened it. And then I'm going to just stick that in my waterline. All right, I zoomed you guys out a little bit more. Because now I'm gonna put on my little headbandy guy here, and we are gonna try out the Light Illusion foundation. So I'm really excited about this, actually. You do get a nice little pump here. I like when pumps have the little like spot for your finger. I don't know, it's just like comforting in a way. I don't know, maybe I'm just weird. Is there directions? Nope. Okay, I'm gonna take, let's see. Well, if it will pump out. Ooh, there's a little bit. I'm gonna take a little healthy size pump there. I think maybe I'll do one side with a brush, one side with a sponge. I'm gonna try not to get all of that in there, but just like some of it on my brush. And I'm gonna kind of work the product in over here. And then we'll do this side with the brush. It's gonna go in, man. I have been using a beauty blender more for my foundation just because it's just faster, really. You can get a really beautiful finish with a brush, but I just feel like it takes a little bit more time than a beauty blender, and I've just been real lazy. Oh, I like the coverage on this because this is like a perfect amount of coverage for me because you can still see like some freckles and stuff coming through, but it really hid my redness and everything, and that's basically all I need a foundation to really hide. So I like this. It's definitely not like full coverage, but it is a pretty, I mean, it's pretty decent. I say it's about medium. And it looks like nice and healthy and radiant. I like that. I'm gonna get a little more up close and personal here. I am noticing a bit of texture, but I think that's just kind of like my skin right now. It's been a little more textured. I might try kind of smoothing this over with a beauty blender too. All right, we're gonna try beauty blender on the other side. So for this, I'm just gonna kind of dot it on. It is kind of a thicker consistency a little bit. It feels nice, it feels like creamy. All right, so definitely less coverage on the beauty blender side. You can see, oh, by the way, this is in the shade L, I think this is L1. I think this is the lightest shade, or it's, yeah, Porcelain L1. It's not a bad shade match. It matches my face pretty well. My neck's a little lighter, but I kind of like to match my face anyway. So I feel like whenever I match completely to my neck, it just looks like too ghostly. There is a pretty significant difference in coverage on the brush versus the sponge size. So if you want more coverage, just go ahead and use a brush with it. I am going to take a little bit of the product that's left on my hand to see if I can build it up. Still not looking as high coverage as this side. Not high coverage, but still not getting the same coverage. I do think I like the finish better on this side. It's looking a little bit less makeup-y, but honestly, it looks good on both sides. So I'm just gonna kind of tap over the brush side. That's usually like, if I'm really wanting to make my skin look really good, usually what I do is I'll apply it with a brush and then I'll just sort of tap over with a sponge. All right, so the sponge did take away some of the coverage on this side, but that's kind of what I wanted. I wanted to really kind of even everything out. Yeah, I'm liking the finish. It is very, very skin-like. You can definitely see some of my texture and my pores, but I don't think the foundation is really emphasizing that. More so it's just sort of letting those things show through. I do feel like this would be a good one to use a more kind of pore filling primer with. We just did a hydrating one today. But I like it looks like it's my skin basically. It doesn't look super heavy or makeup-y. I am noticing a little bit of creasing already on my smile lines, but we'll make sure to kind of set that with a powder. It's looking nice on my nose. I did not pick up the concealer. I kind of wish that I had, but I just went to Walmart. So I'm just gonna go in with a few kind of tried and true concealer products. I'm gonna be taking my Becca Under Eye Corrector first. Actually, I haven't used this in a little while, but I really like it. All right, so just added a little bit of that, and then I'm gonna go in with my Covergirl TruBlend It's Lit concealer. This is a very sort of, not really radiant, but it's a very natural looking concealer, so I think it'll mesh well with the foundation. I'm also gonna put a little bit of this around my nose. The foundation does still feel a little tacky. I don't think I'm gonna set it though. I am gonna just set under the eyes. Taking my Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder. This is such a, it's expensive, but it's such a pretty powder under the eyes. So I'm just going to set under there. I'm also gonna set kind of around my nose area and my smile lines as well because oh god, I got the brush in my nose. Anyways, I'm setting my smile lines because I did notice them start to crease a little bit with this foundation, so just keep that in mind. I feel like I need to trim my nose hairs, man. You see that? I'm disgusting. I'm not gonna set my cheek area. I think we'll be fine blending powders on top, but it is just a wee bit tacky. I'm gonna go in with my Becca bronzer. This is in Bronzed Amber. I don't know if they still make this. It's a little dark for me, but I just use a little bit of a light hand. So I'm gonna start by using sort of tapping motions as opposed to swirling. So that's what I do if I have a more kind of tacky foundation and I don't feel like setting it. And then after I've kind of laid that product down, then I can kind of go in with more. It seems to be actually blending fine on top. I do feel it might be taking away some of the coverage of the foundation, but it's not looking like patchy or anything like that. All right, so now I'm gonna go in with this Beauty Bankery little highlighter. The packaging for these is so cute. It looks like a little icing cup. It's just got kind of some holes in the top here, so I'm just gonna kind of tap that. I'm gonna take a more rounded brush like this. I'm just gonna tap into the loose powder, tap off the excess, and I'm gonna kind of start by stamping and then buffing. Ooh, that's pretty. Oh, that's gorgeous. Matches the tone of that brow bone highlight too really well, I feel like. Oh, that looks so gorgeous on camera. It is emphasizing texture maybe a little bit, but it looks very sort of seamless with the skin, which is nice. So I'll definitely be using that again. All right, now we're gonna try the blush bombs. I'm so excited to try this. A little droppy drop on my hand. And then where's my little egg? There we go. I'm gonna take my egg and then I'm just gonna kind of blend it in on my hand. I'm just gonna take that, pop that over the cheeks. Ooh, that is pigmented. That is a lot of blush. Pretty, that's a pretty color too. It's like a little bit peachy, but not super peachy. It's like a melon color. All right, that blended in beautifully. It seemed really intense when I first put it on, and I think you could make it super intense, but it definitely blended in to the skin very easily. That's beautiful. I love that so much. So I am gonna take a little bit of my Catrice Dewy Setting Spray just to give this even more of a glow. I know it might change the foundation finish a little bit, but I just can't help it. But you can kind of see what it looks like on its own. It is, I wouldn't say it's like a super glowy foundation. I would say it's more of a skin-like natural finish foundation, but I feel like it's one you could make super glowy with some other products like this one. So I'm gonna spritz a little of this. onto the lips. So like I said, Adam got me this very pretty purpley color, but I think I'm gonna do the nude today because it's just a little, I think it'll just match the eyes better. I don't know how purple would look with this look. As you can see on one side, we have this traditional kind of bullet lipstick. And on the other side, we have a little gloss. So very cool. Packaging on this is super pretty as well. I love doing a nice gloss over a lipstick, so I'm glad this kind of comes with both. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start with the lipstick. I like this color a lot. This is like, okay. This is like the perfect peachy nude color. I feel like a lot of other peachy nudes on me just look super pastel and like not super flattering. This has a little bit of depth and warmth to it. So, ooh, I like that color. The formula seems nice. It does feel nice on the lips. I do feel like it's maybe emphasizing some dryness a little bit, but it does feel nice and creamy, and I feel like it looks fine from like a little bit of a distance, you know? But yeah, I love that color. I have like never been able to find a nice peachy nude, so I'm here for this. I would wear that on its own. But let's try it with the glossy over top. This gloss does feel kind of like thick and like kind of moussey almost. It feels like you're not getting a lot of product, but you actually are, so just be careful. I feel like the gloss made it look a little bit more kind of orangey, this is very matchy-matchy, but that's okay. That's nice. It looks almost like metallic. All right, and last but certainly not least, we have the Flower Beauty Long Lasting Setting Spray. I love this stuff. I've used it quite a few times. It really is, I said this before, but like the closest thing to all-nighter that you can get at the drugstore. So yes, I like it. It really does improve the wear time of the makeup. It does mattify a little bit, which I don't personally like, but if you do like that, then you might like it. Drink every time I say like it. I love using this with clients too because the mister is so just like fine and refreshing. So it feels very, well, not if you inhale it, but it feels very like comforting, I think, to them. It's not like you're being spritzed, you know? It's just like a soft mister, so it's a lot more kind of relaxing and less like aggressive than a lot of other misters. All right, well, this is the finished look. Yeah, I'm gonna zoom you guys out and we're just gonna do a little speed fire wrap up here. All right, we are back at a sort of comfortable distance here, and let's run through all these products. Okay, so the first thing we tried was the little eyeshadow palette. This was very nice. I feel like the colors were pigmented. They blended out nicely. I didn't have to work too hard. The only things I didn't like is that, first of all, the packaging is really cheap, and like mine was broken already, so that's a little frustrating. But I mean, I understand that like it is sort of a cheaper cost, so that's one thing with drugstore products is you do kind of sacrifice nicer packaging. Not all the time, but a lot of the time that's one of where they cut their costs, which I would rather them cut the costs on the packaging than the actual ingredients of the product inside, so I get it, but it's kind of disappointing that it just sort of like fell apart. Also, there is quite a bit of kickback to the shadows. Again, I don't really mind that, but if you do, that's something to keep in mind. Otherwise, I think they blended out really nicely. They're super creamy, easy to work with, and they look beautiful on the eyes. They seem to be holding their color well as well. What was the next thing? Oh, the next thing was the Flower Beauty, of course, Flower Beauty Carolyn. Oh my God. The Light Illusion Foundation. This is beautiful. I really like the way it looks. It looks very, very skin-like and natural. It's sort of letting my skin peek through, but it's still kind of evening out tone and everything. I would definitely reach for this again. I feel like this might become like my new go-to foundation because I've been using the It Cosmetics CC cream, and that one is nice, but it's, first of all, the shade is, it's mostly just the shade is not quite right, but this one I feel like is a little bit lighter. a little bit better, but it looks really, really beautiful on the skin. And yeah, it's like the right amount of coverage. I really enjoy this foundation. Oh, I want to touch on the Beauty Bakery highlighter briefly, even though it's not Flower Beauty, but this is really beautiful. It looks very shiny, but it still blends in seamlessly with the skin, and I like that quite a bit. If you have a lot of texture, this might emphasize it a little bit. I do see some of kind of my pores and texture in that area, but it's not super noticeable. It's just I have pores and texture there, and I put a shiny thing on it, so it's gonna emphasize it a little bit, but it does still look really beautiful and kind of seamless with the skin. Next up, the blush balms. This is absolutely beautiful. I love the pigmentation level, the way it just sort of melted into the skin and blended in. It reminds me of my Milk Makeup one, which I love. This one I do feel like is a little bit, it's not as dewy looking, and it's a little bit more pigmented, but it looks absolutely beautiful. And I love this kind of, it's like a little bit peachy, but not a lot, and I just love the tone of it as well. And then the lip product. So I think this is a really, really cool concept. I like how you have a traditional lipstick on one side and then a gloss on the other. I like the formula so far, but I'll kind of have to see how it wears. The lipstick did feel really nice and creamy, but I feel like it might be one of those ones where throughout the day it starts to dry down and kind of emphasize a lot of texture and stuff. But I love this color. It's the perfect peachy nude. And the gloss is nice. It is a little more metallic-y than I typically go for with a gloss, but it does look really pretty, and I like it kind of in this, I like the color of it too. So I'm just gonna kind of have to see how this one wears, but I like the packaging and I really like the concept and the color so far. I think that's it. Right? Oh, okay. We also use the Flower Beauty setting spray. This one is a tried and true. I love this stuff. It really does keep your makeup on longer, and it's just such a pleasant, fine mister to spritz your face with. Anyways, I think that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe and turn on the bell if you want to get notified when I upload. Try to upload about once a week, but it varies because my schedule varies as well. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys all have a good rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye!